Hey everyone, welcome back to the Data Pack project. Today we're tackling the crafting side of status effects. So we've got a bunch of new multi-block structures to work through, as well as the advancements in themselves. So starting off, this section is part of the deep slate furnace section. To place a magma block surrounded in a cross of polished deep slate stairs, then place a hollow cross of polished deep slate walls centered on top of the magma block, and then finally a blast furnace surrounded by polished stairs. Okay, so if we grab all the blocks necessary to actually complete this multi-block structure, the advancements will unlock. So we need, four of those. There we go, perfect. So from there, we now have copper flask. Okay, so that's the multi-block structure done. And then to actually make a copper flask, throw 3 sand and a copper ingot into the center of a deep slate furnace. So this is where we can start having a little bit of fun with it. The sand, either red or white, it doesn't really matter. 3, and a copper ingot. We chuck them into the center of our multi-block structure, and we move away a bit more. Ta-da! Copper flask. So we unlock copper flask and wax refinery. Wax refinery being heat, sturdy surface conductor, and a lid should do the trick. Starting from the base, create a tower using a campfire, lodestone, lightning rod, and any polished stone slab. So I've tried to keep in the same terminology that we've been using for all the other multi-block blueprints, so hopefully it is understandable. And then, of course, we have the copper flask branch, which is grind some plants into paste using the grinding station, which was used for our rune crafting system, and then combine any 2 different plant pastes with honeycomb in a boiling cauldron. So we do have to set up a few different things. For instance, I've already done it. Right, so this is the wax refinery, if you will. Ooh, that deleted properly. Yeah, that's fine. Lightning rod. Okay, back on. Our grinding station, and then our boiling cauldron. Okay. So the first step was to create this plant paste. Now, we can use any plant in the game, except saplings, because I don't consider them plants, because in real life they'd be much bigger, right? So brown mushrooms, red mushrooms, warped mushrooms, grass, allium, cornflower, pink petals, and a dandelion. I believe that should be all the colors. Right, so if we throw it on the grinding station, ta-da! It gets ground up into plant paste gray. We throw the dandelion, there you go. As you might expect, we get plant paste yellow, red, cerulean, purple, and violet. So there are 8 different plant pastes for you to make from different plants in the game. So hopefully this is enough of an incentive to create a whole bunch of different flower farms, not just the typical, sunflower meadows, right? To have decorative plants, but now to actually farm up these plant pastes. Then, the next step. We've done our plant paste. We need to combine any 2 colors with honeycomb in a boiling cauldron. Do I have honeycomb in here? I do not. Fine, we can just grab some out. Okay, so we've got a boiling cauldron set up, and if we just chuck in a piece of honeycomb, and then any 2 colors we want, right? So red, yellow. Poof, we get a wax ball. Also the advancement getting waxy with it. Okay, so wax ball, yellow/red. Right, so this means if you do the statistics, there are 8 different colors, and you can use each of them in a non-repeating fashion, meaning there are 28 combinations of wax balls for you to make and for you to craft into the next part, which is bottled wax, perfect for coating. So melt a wax ball into a copper flask using a wax refiner. So if we grab out our copper flask from before, we can go over to this multi-block structure, throw the copper flask into the center and a wax ball. They combine together to make a copper flask filled with poison, scorched. Okay, so this is the status effect system. You can craft all these different wax balls to fill your copper flask, and then utilize the copper flask to inflict status effects in melee combat. Now, in terms of advancements, we've unlocked this new tab, Weapon Poisons, and this is the unlockable codex of all the different crafts you can make. Right, so we did yellow and red, so we got this entry unlocked, Scorched. Causes the inflicted to suffer heat exhaustion. Reapplication increases the effect. Now, if we were to make another copper flask, this time we might as well just use red sand to show you that you can use either. And a copper ingot. 1, 2, 3. Copper ingot. Perfect. We can then chuck this on our wax refinery with the wax ball. If I could aim. There we go. Perfect. We now have copper flask poison venom. And in terms of advancements, there you go. Venom causes the inflicted to leave a poisonous cloud periodically. We just go ahead and give ourselves all the different advancements. We've now got all 28 entries of all the different wax ball combinations you can create, right? So starting from the start, what we've got: Splinter, Detonate, Scorched, Burn, Swell, Boost, Exhaust, Thunder, Venom, Bane, Purify, Entomb, Bleed, Surge, Guardian, Debilitate, Crush, Frostbite, Curse, Sunder, Submerge, Soul, Toxic, Rot, and finally Tainted, Hunger, Life, and Gale. Whew, mouthful. Yep, so I've added 28 different status effects to the game, which is perfect, because not only can I give the player access to these status effects through this system, through bottling wax balls into copper flasks, I can also utilize these status effects for different boss mechanics and abilities, or just mob abilities in general. So altogether, this is a key component of the fundamentals of the data pack. In fact, the whole point where we're doing the weapon poisons rather than continuing on with the runes, because I did showcase the greater rune, which is the icon for the actual tab, is because I needed all these status effects for the effects I want to tie to the greater runes, right? So for instance, the freeze rune, right? Instead of just filling an area with powdered snow, it can now inflict the status effect tied to cold, right? So we should have Entomb somewhere, and then there should also be Frostbite. So it could inflict both of these status effects, making it pretty powerful. And then without actually getting into the mechanics too much, we'll stick in our offhand, right? So now we can apply the status effect. So we grab ourselves out a husk. Oh, that is not the right tab. That is not the right spelling. Husk. We can start hitting him. We'll inflict him with the status effect. But more importantly, what I'm trying to show is eventually... Actually, you know what? The chance to inflict it is so minimal. Effects give at all luck. Right, the status effects are based on luck now. 99, so we have max luck. We should inflict the status effect every time. Perfect. So we hit him a few times. What will happen eventually... Oh, if he stopped taking damage from the seasonal effect. 1, 2, 3. That was not enough. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Should be about 25 uses, I think. In fact, it might be less since my luck is so high. You know what? Why are we doing this way? I have scoreboards. Okay, if we set Copper Flask use to 50, I believe. There we go. The Copper Flask breaks and we lose our status effect. So you do have a limited number of applications, but it is also tied to luck. So eventually, if you have max luck, you'll be able to apply the status effect every hit, and you'll be able to utilize the Copper Flask for a lot longer than normal. Anyway, we will leave it there, and then we'll actually get into the effects and how they work in the next one. So hopefully that is a good little introduction into Copper Flasks and weapon poisons, wax balls, and this whole new crafting system. I'm lost for words. Anyway, so yeah, hope you enjoyed.